the dishes that I'm going to ignore.
Saw you
But I am going to grab a water.
Face that wasn't even close to mine. I know I shouldn't be in love, but it's so hard to move on. You haven't changed, you stayed the same. But if you did, I still love you anyway. I'd give you the world like I promised I would.
I took a break or fell out of the habit of working out because of pregnancy and postpartum recovery. A lot of things piling on at once that both physically and just mentally, I just didn't feel like I was in the right place to work out. But lately I've been feeling called back to it, and I decided to film the very first workouts that I actually did getting back into the habit of exercise. So if you're watching this for the same motivation, then no, it doesn't matter why you fell off. It's just a matter of wanting to get back on the horse. And if you're just watching for fun, then hey.
Bentley's throne of the day. Hey, this is the throne of the day.
I actually had a dream where I had that feeling, that runner's high after a really good workout. And I woke up and it was just so apparent to me that these little nudges that I've been getting both subconsciously and fully conscious has been to get back into connecting to my body again in a way that's empowering, in a way that makes me feel strong again, in a way that makes me feel like I'm healing my body through movement, and also to help me manage some of the stress that comes with life these days. So this vlog is a collection of the very first workouts I did, moving back into exercise, finding that like humble balance of not being where I used to be, but also setting the right intentions for why I'm even doing this in the first place.
Even though you wouldn't do the same. I'd do anything you want me to.
I realized by this workout, which was actually the very last one of this vlog, that my main goal with wanting to exercise again was to bring ease back into my body, because that would help all of the other pillars of my life. So let's start with the first few workouts I actually did.
I remember the first time we met, face to face. Kiss on my neck, how could I forget something that hasn't happened yet?
The first few workouts I did were very spur of the moment. They were very 5, 10, 15 minutes of just simple movements like you're seeing on the screen here. I would say they were more yoga based, but also just connecting my breath to my body, stretching out places that are really sore, and then taking some time to just breathe and meditate afterwards. Sometimes I feel like there's this pressure that when you're going to exercise again, you have to jump right back in with a super intense daily routine or whatever it is, but you really don't. Whether it's walking around the block, for me it's walking around my property, or doing simple quick yoga stretches, making the habit really easy to stick with at the beginning and build into an actual habit, while also making it kind to my body.
I want you with me. I remember the first time I heard your voice.
After my 6-week appointment, when I was cleared to physically work out again, I started jumping back on the bike. I included the clips where I actually have to pause to help my baby so that you can see that it's not just like super straightforward, get on and bike for a crazy 20 minutes. Sometimes I'll have a good dance party. Sometimes I do some stretches. Sometimes I do a mix of biking and yoga. Sometimes my baby starts to get fussy and I don't actually get much more than 10 minutes in. I used to be a bit of a perfectionist, and I would get really competitive with myself when it came to my workouts, and that zapped so much of the fun out of it. So I was really mindful of that going back into things. Like, I want my workouts to be based on the kind of music I want to listen to and how I'm feeling or want to feel that day, with little to no thought about how my workout went the day before. Something that has helped me huge with getting back into working out was making a new workout playlist. I'll link the one that I made down below, but also just in general, if you are looking to get motivated to work out again, start with music. Start with a good new playlist, something that has a variety of beats or tempos that you want to move to based on the types of exercises you want to do. And that leads me to the second thing that I did, which was create intentions around the kinds of movements I wanted. So for yoga, I use yoga to relax. For walking, I use walking to ground outside in nature. For biking, I use for lifting up my energy or coming down from feeling anxious or having some fun. And then strength training, I use as a form of feeling strong and confident in myself, and also to fulfill my intention of being a strong mom that, heaven forbid, knock on wood, anything ever happened, I could carry Ryan, my kids, and the pets in any given situation.
Just don't get enough from me.
And that kind of reminds me of the other point I have, which is, who is it that wants to get back into working out? That's kind of a deeper, more spiritual question you can ask yourself. But for me, it's like, I'm 30 years old now and I want to maintain my health, and I want to be able to keep up with my kids when they want to play or when they want to run, or also show them the importance of taking care of their own health and of their own movement and their own ability to stay connected to their bodies. But the shadowy side of me in this chapter of life is also someone that's really anxious and carrying a lot of stress. So that's the other version of me that wants this. Who are you in this era of your life? And why does that version of you want to exercise and want to prioritize this?
Said I'm gonna win. Catch me down on me. Just don't get enough from me. Said I'm gonna win. Catch me down on me. Just don't get enough from me.
Another way that I've softened back into exercising again is not being hard on myself when it comes to how many reps or how much weight or just even what I'm able or capable of doing with my body. I've been going with a bit more of a flow style or a flow method, where I just start doing some movements that challenge certain muscle groups, and I do as many as I can until I'm like, yeah, no, my body's not liking that anymore. And then I just move on to the next stretch, or I move on to the next movement. Exercising in this way to me feels like better chemistry with my body, better chemistry with my own energy, with my muscles, with where I'm at. But if that feels too open-ended, or if you're someone that likes a little bit more structure or something specific to follow, there are so many free workouts on YouTube that are also great too. I left this workout playing but sped up so you can kind of get an idea about what I mean by switching between different styles of movement and then doing a few and then moving on to the next one. This is what a functional strength workout would look like for me these days. An important part of trying to get back into working out again is figuring out how to fit it into the day, how to fit it into the competing priorities of life. So it really does come down to figuring out what can you put down so that you can instead dedicate some time to exercise or dedicate some time to just taking care of yourself, because that's really the whole point, right? I'm planning on sharing or continuing to document this side of my life and this side of my journey of getting back into exercise and where that takes me over the next few months, and include more of the food and the fuel, and also how I'm balancing it with like ignoring my house. For instance, the day that I did this workout, this is the mess that I left behind. The hour that I could have dedicated to cleaning my kitchen instead went into the exercise or the workout that you just saw. And for some days that just has to be okay. Something has to be put down so that you can pick yourself back up.
To be close to you. To myself. But I don't know how to be just friends. 'Cause I would love to be close to you.
I've also been trying to go for as many walks on the nice days as possible because I know in a few weeks it's going to be way too cold for me to feel comfortable doing this with a little baby. These workouts are some of my favorites because I feel like I get my best ideas, I get lots of fresh air, and you really just can never underestimate the simplicity of just going for a really good walk. The best part is that by this workout, this movement started feeling familiar to my body again. It's that muscle memory. It was like, oh yeah, I remember doing this all the time. And then throughout my day, feeling my strength improve, even if it's incremental, but just noticing I can hold both the babies a little easier, or breastfeeding isn't hurting my back as much. Those small wins are so huge, and it's sweet getting them in those first few workouts because it's like fuel to keep going.
Is that it for today?
These workouts were filmed over the span of 2 weeks. Some workouts had a couple days in between them, especially at the beginning, and then towards the end, I started putting my workouts back to back again. This workout in particular, workout number 7, was the first one where I actually picked up some weights. Even though it's just light weights, I just used some ankle weights, held them in my hands at first while doing my warm-up before actually strapping them onto my ankles and then doing more of like a functional strength style workout. But it felt really good and really grounding to bring weights back into the exercise, especially after easing into it for those first 2 weeks. I already mentioned what my goal really is with exercise, but specifically when it comes to the strength aspect and the strength training, I want the kind of strength that's going to support me through the rest of my life. And really, exercise isn't that separate from everything else. It's more so the foundation that leaves you feeling more capable, more strong, or more grounded while you actually do go about your day to day.
I'd give you the world like I promised I would. Even though you wouldn't do the same. Had this conversation more than 10 times.
Now, obviously, an aspect of working out that I haven't talked about yet in this vlog is the physicality of it. Like when you start to focus on your physique, this part can be really hard because, again, in my history, I have struggled with feeling like I needed to look a certain way, or I wanted my body to change in a way that just wasn't natural to me. So this time around, especially postpartum and trying to be really kind to myself, I'm trying to approach it from a place of neutrality. So not about how my body looks or trying to bounce back, but just what my body can do and how I actually feel in it. I think with just seeing where a lot of the trends are going lately, body neutrality has been on my mind a lot, and reminding myself that my body doesn't need to be perfect or constantly improving to be worthy of care, that even working out to begin with isn't a way to change my body, but instead to care for my body. Some days I feel strong, other days I'm more tired, and both of those things are okay. Some days I feel nice and good in my clothes, other days my clothes feel uncomfortable and too tight, and that's okay too. Every day is a process of letting go of those kinds of expectations and just focusing on showing up and how things feel, and moving because it helps with stress, moving because it makes my mind feel so much more open and clear, or makes me feel more connected to myself and more confident in myself, or gives me the energy I need or the strength that I need for everything else in my life. And that is what I'm focused on.
'Cause I love you.
like an angel setting me free. Where are you now? Do you feel safe? I don't need an answer, just need some space. Don't let me darken your front door. That is not what I came here for.
I feel like I don't even know how to get ready anymore. Like nothing looks right, nothing goes on like it used to. I don't know if it's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just aging. But I intend when I do my makeup to keep things more natural, but then as I'm doing my makeup, I'm like, oh my God, I look so tired, or wow, my brows are so uneven. So as I'm trying to like even out my eyes or even out my skin tone or even out my eyebrows, all of a sudden I'm like, I don't know, I'm just wearing so much makeup. I just look so tired. I am tired. It's not even like a judgment. That's not even a bad thing. It's just a fact. I am tired. And my skin looks tired and my eyes look tired. We're tired.
Hold on to what I believe in the light. Are you doing well? Do you feel fine?
Last night I stayed up an extra hour trying to basically figure out what to do with my hair because my roots are growing in. We also have new grays since I last updated you in February. Like this one is true silver. That is a witch hair. I need something that's easy maintenance, doesn't need hair appointments, especially if you heard the horror story of my last hair appointment, which costed me like by the time I tipped $700, and don't ask me why I tipped. It was my people pleaser. I walked out of there and was like, what the did I just do? It would be nice to go a few months without having to go to a hair appointment because it would give me so much anxiety to leave him for multiple hours. Not that I couldn't. I could do it. I don't want to do it. If I were to leave for a few hours, I would rather go for a massage, if anything. I also don't want to get rid of the blonde. I used to do my own highlights back in the day, and I did temporarily do a co-op at a hair salon in high school. Neither of which make me qualified, but it's my hair. If I f***ed up, then it's my fault. I also have a hair mask in my hair that I need to wash out, so tonight's gonna be a hair wash night. I don't know what to do with any of this today.
That's what it took to open my.
I've been getting back into working out again, just slowly but surely, like bringing movement back into my body postpartum, and then also, I don't know, feeling the differences now. Not that it's drastic, but now that I'm 30 and older, and I didn't do yoga for quite a long time. Actually, I'm pretty sure the last time I posted to my flow corner, which is like my kind of where I concentrate my yoga and flow movement, all of that stuff. That's where I focus that stuff on Instagram so that I'm not flooding my own personal feed with it. It's been a few years since I did my yoga teacher training certificate, but I really miss yoga and I feel called back to yoga now postpartum, but also other forms of movement. It was actually during the meditation this morning where I realized what my true goal was. Originally, I had written down my who, my what, and my why when it came to prioritizing exercise and movement again, because there's only so many time slots in a day, and I definitely haven't been working out every day, but I'm starting to think that it would be beneficial solely just for I'll get to this. When I started my workout, I was so anxious that I had to start with a meditation because the energy was just balled up right here and I didn't know what to do with my body. I'm like, do I want to bike? Do I want to walk? What do I want to do? So meditation has been helpful despite the urge. Like my brain is urging me to do anything, but I feel it's executive dysfunction. There's so many things I could do, so many things I should do that I start to like panic and it's not worth the panic. Landon is currently content, so I'm gonna do my best to finish my train of thought. However, it's been a little bit. I did a feeding, made a chider. While I was doing that meditation, when it was all about ease, bringing ease back into the body, it was like something clicked where I realized that has been the common denominator and all of the areas at which are making me feel anxious, or all of the areas at which that I'm just like not feeling good. Oh, my body is so far out of ease. It's my mind that's putting my body out of ease because it's nothing in the present moment. It's just me trying to do multiple things for the future all of the time, like trying to multitask so I get multiple things done. You get the drill. My goal right now with my personal care is to bring ease back into my body. Anything that brings ease back into my body is allowed to be prioritized at least once a day. So it doesn't even have to be movement. Maybe it's just meditation if that's all I have the time for, or if Landon wakes up or whatever. Just a couple minutes to feel at ease. I'm a very energy driven person. So when I can sink into the energies at play with something, then I can, even if it's something I don't want to do, if I can like sink into like, oh, this is going to feel good if I look at this as like a challenge, or look at this as like a game. If I'm just feeling heavy and serious, then I want to maybe bike, because biking to me is fun. Like, I have a little bike concert with myself. When strength training, especially now in a place where I haven't worked out in a long time, I just had a baby, so my body has been through it. I can feel it. I feel it this time around a lot more in my pelvic floor, in my core, in my everywhere, all over my body. I feel it a lot more this time around when I can meet myself where I'm actually at my weakest. So when I'm doing weights and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm on the 3rd rep and this is really freaking hard, then I meet myself there and I try to befriend myself. Like, oh, that's our limit right now. That's a lot lower than I had in my head. Like, my body is telling me our limit is lower than our mindset. I'm not at the same place I was when I was exercising all of the time. Strength training is going to be the one I do when I need to just be nice to myself and be a friend to myself and feel strong. So that's my current workout routine, my current goals, my focus, getting back into workout. These are the workouts that I did. I don't exactly know in my mind how I edited this, but I assume because I had already pre-filmed my first 4 workouts, I believe, maybe 5. Like, these were truly the only workouts I've done so far coming back into things. So it's working with my spirit on a very fundamental level. It's working with my energy. Anytime I'm really anxious, I always get back into working out, and it feels so good to just put that energy somewhere, and it's helping a lot. So I'm gonna go drink my cider. I'm gonna pick up my baby, lean back, let him contact nap while I do some editing. That's pretty much the rest of my day. And without further ado, I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.